this is a chuck roast. You can use it the way it is as a roast, or we're going to grind. We're going to get cubes out of it. We're going to get a bunch of stuff out of this. We got a beautiful roast here. This is a chuck roast. I have no problem with that. It's beautiful. And we have a round roast. Okay, that is nice and fresh, even though it's got some green spots on it, and that's from where the tickets were, the tags were on it. That tends to make them a little green in that one area. Okay, so what we're going to do first, I think I'm going to work out this piece over here. We can get quite a few things out of this, and the reason why I said we're going to do this one first, because whatever trimmings or a little bit of trimmings that we have, that's going to go into the ground meat. Put my knife on my steel a little bit. Okay, so here's a piece of gristle here. Okay, so what we're going to do with this, I'll take the fat off. There's a little bit of meat. This is the outside. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make beef cubes out of this. This is from that side there. They'll be lean, but I can mix them with the other ones. Okay, as you can see, we're getting a little bit of meat here and there, and there's no sense in throwing it away. When it's still good meat. Okay, one cardinal rule whenever you're cutting meat, if you cut across the grain, you'll have a better chance of having a more tender piece of meat than if you cut with it. It'll be stringy. Okay, so I'm going to try and cut some thin steaks out of it. And let's see what we get. Okay, I missed that one there. This type of steak, you can use it as a Swiss steak if you want to. Anything that you have to, you cook with gravy or whatever, like in a pan. That's what this is good for. Or I'll tell you what, if you want, this is not the thinnest. If you want to make a sandwich with this, a steak sandwich, you can do it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put down everything. I'll lay it out nice. That way you can see how much we're getting out of this purchase that we made. Now I'm going to tell you what, it was not a spectacular purchase, but for today it was all right. Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to put some of the stew over there. And I'll tell you the truth, I'm not crazy about this. I really didn't get ripped off, but when you get something like this, the best thing to do is use it. Use it as soon as your need comes. It comes to you. If you're going to make your roast, use this one here first. I'm not going to trim anything off of it. I think I'm just going to trim it up and leave it. And leave it for a roast. It'll be fine. It'll go right in the freezer. And then that'll be the first, this will be the first one to come out. Okay, now we have all this for trimmings, okay, for ground beef. Right off the spot. Okay, but as I said, we're going to make beef cubes too. So that's what I'm going to make out of this. These are going to be beautiful. Now, some people like a puny piece of meat for a beef cube. I'm not one of them. If you ever want to do it, you can always make your beef cube smaller than that. And always remember one thing: it's your piece of meat. You bought it. You do whatever you want with it. But sometimes it is helpful to find out what a certain piece of meat is good for, and then that ought to make it a little easier for you to make up your mind as to what you want. Okay, so we're filling this big platter up with a pretty good bit of meat. We have this. You know what I'm going to do? With beef cubes, anything that's a nice solid piece of meat like this is going to be a beef cube, okay? This is meat, okay? That's meat. This is meat, there's a little fat on it. You paid for it, you can do whatever you want with it. Personally, it's good to go into the hamburger because it's got lean slices of beef like this. From that piece of round meat, and it'll make the round meat nice and juicy. The chuck cubes are they're not a naturally tender piece of meat. Okay, what you have to do is you have to make them tender. Okay, so you have to cook them. How you're going to do it is you're going to have to cook them a longer time. All right. If you want to make a pot of stew using these this beef stew here, what's going to be is that you're going to have to cook it about 3.25, 3.5 hours on sort of like a simmer. Okay, at 325 at 300, covered. Whether you cook it in the oven or you cook it on top, you're going to have to cover it. Okay, and you put your liquid in there, and then halfway through, then you can put the vegetables. Okay. Okay, now this is what those 3 roasts have produced so far. We have some thin sliced steak. Okay, from the bottom and around. It's thin, as I said. For you want to use something like a not Salisbury. That's ground. But if you want to use a Swiss steak, this is fine. Even if you just want to fry it fast, it may be good for you too. Put it in between 2 pieces of bread and make a sandwich. We have we have chopped cubes for stew, beef stew. Terrific. I'm not sure. Probably the Hungarians would use this for Hungarian goulash. I could be wrong, but I think that I'm right because I worked with a couple of Hungarians, and they used a lot of things for Hungarian goulash. And what we have on the top here, we have a chuck roast. Chuck roast has got to be used first. Okay? And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. Got a little age on it. So when it goes into the freezer, it's got to come out first or anything else. You know what I mean?